Hey ladies, a two-in-one video for you today. Firstly, I want to cover the makeup technique baking. It's a buzzword at the moment, but it's actually something that's been around for years and years and years. So I wanted to share that with you. And number two, I'm getting loads of requests for my everyday makeup routine, what products I use, how I apply them, what I do. So this is my finished result today. This is pretty much a look I would go for day to day. It's not a natural look because I personally like makeup. I love makeup. So I've got colour on my eyes. I've kept my lips quite neutral, but it's a full face foundation, concealer, highlighter, blusher, bronzer, the works. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy it. See you later. So I've started off with our glorious face primer. I've applied a pea-size amount all over and I've given it about 5 minutes to properly dry. Next up is the liquid foundation. I'm giving it a really good shake and I'm actually going to be applying it with our blusher brush. It's made from the exact same hair as the puff brush, the powder puff brush. So I'm dropping sort of 5 or 6 drops on the back of my brush. I'm in between shades at the moment, so I'm mixing velour and scarlet. So there's about 5 or 6 drops there, and I'm just going to dot it all over my face and then using the brush just very gently buff that foundation all over. It's beautiful because it dries to a powdery matte finish and the coverage is just perfection. Now it's time for some major highlighting and concealing. I'm using our Skin Perfecting Concealer in the shade Scarlet and I'm going to apply it underneath my eyes in an upside down triangle, down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, Cupid's bow, and a tiny bit on my chin. So this is a really easy highlighting technique whilst covering up dark circles at the same time. I'm going to then blend that out with a damp and blending bud, which you can just sort of bounce and press over your skin to kind of blend that concealer out beautifully. And then I'm going to do some baking. I'm going to be using a loose powder by Laura Mercier, only because Younique don't make a loose powder yet, but you could use our loose mineral concealer. I'm tapping some out in the lid, and with the same dampened blending bud, I'm basically applying way too much powder anywhere that I've put the concealer. And this is baking. So what happens is the warmth of your skin warms up the concealer and the powder and everything melts and meshes together and gives you a really smooth, flawless, long-lasting finish, which is beautiful. I'm going to keep that powder baking on my face for as long as possible while I do my eye makeup. I'm starting off with our eye primer, which will keep my eyeshadow in place all day and stop it from creasing. And then I'm going to be using just 2 shades from our Moodstruck Addiction palette number 3. I'm applying the light silver shimmery shade Smitten, that's a bit of a mouthful, all over my lid to my crease with the shader brush. Then I'm going to apply Cheeky, which is a beautiful purple, sparkly, shimmery, smoky colour in the crease with the crease brush and blending it out with the Deluxe brush. I'm going back in with a bit more Smitten to brighten it up. Then I'm taking a tiny little brush and taking that Cheeky colour under my lower lash line. You could use the liner end of the liner shader brush. And then I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills brow highlighter. You could use a concealer as well, just to sort of highlight my brow bone. I'm next going to neaten up and give my brows some volume with our Precision Brow Gel in Dark, which is genius because it contains fibres and I love it. I'm then going to line my upper lash line with our Precision Pencil in Perfect, which is the black. I'm not going to attempt to draw a neat line, I'm just smoking it out by using the pencil, dragging it back and forth very gently, and it's a super easy trick and it looks really great. So I'll repeat the exact same steps with the other eye, and of course my 3D Fibre Lash Mascara. And now I'm just dusting off any excess powder left over from the baking using the blusher brush, which is what I applied my foundation with, and my concealer is super smooth and it will last all day. Next up is the blusher. I'm using the pressed blusher in the shade Sweet, which is a really nice peachy pink colour. I'm applying it to the apples of my cheeks, dragging it upwards slightly to give a really healthy rosy glow. And then I'm going to warm up the rest of my face and contour very slightly by using our beachfront bronzer in the shade Sunset in a 3 in an E shape and down my neck. And then cheek highlight, I'm actually using our mineral powder, which is an eyeshadow in the shade Sexy, on the tops of my cheekbones, tiny bit on the tip of my nose, and my Cupid's bow, which accentuates the pout. And then I'm finishing off with my favourite lucrative lip gloss in the shade Luxe. It's the perfect nude. I really hope you've enjoyed this. It didn't take very long at all. I'm really happy with the results. It's a really great fresh face look. And thank you so much for watching. I'll speak to you later.